Hey guys!
Oh well,
Welcome to Reuel Recommends. I am Reuel. This is.
I'm Lakshman. I'm also a Twitch variety streamer. My stuff is down below. If you're nerdy, you'll like me.
It's my
It's
line.
my line.
If
I
you're
came up
nerdy,
with
you'll
it.
like me. Anyways, today we are reviewing as a whole the first season of Disney Plus's Loki. As you know, Disney Plus has released the first 6 episodes of the Loki series. It was an episode a week.
Yeah.
We've reviewed the first episode on this channel, but today, my brother and I, we've been following the show, wanted to give our thoughts on the series as a whole. I only have 2 words. Loki alligator.
Alligator Loki.
Alligator Loki.
Florida Loki.
You are the star of the show.
We love you.
Yes. So as you know, this show takes place when Loki from Avengers Endgame takes the Tesseract, vamooshes to another place on the planet Earth, only to be caught by the Time Variant Authority TVA, who monitor the sacred timeline and basically kill anyone who's a variant of that timeline, meaning you're not supposed to exist or do whatever you did. Their logic is if you're supposed to take the 9 o'clock train and have coffee at 10:05, but you do something different, you're a variant. Which flimsy logic, but it's part of the story.
Sacred time. I mean, but it makes sense.
It makes sense. It's setting up the multiverse. So Loki gets apprehended, taken to the TVA, where of course he weasels his way out of a deal to try and find and catch another Loki variant to disastrous results. What are your thoughts?
I liked it. I enjoyed the Loki series. I really loved my favorite thing about Loki is character development. That is my favorite thing because, after several years of consuming Marvel Cinematic Universe content and seeing Tom Hiddleston play Loki, who finds new ways to try and outsmart the people he's with, there comes a point where Loki himself needs to develop.
Yeah.
You can't keep watching a guy want a throne, You can't keep watching a guy want a throne, and
to see that build up in Avengers Infinity War where he, chooses to recognize he is Odin's son. He is Thor's brother. He cares for him and would die for him. To see that with this Loki, that was my initial fear before starting the show. Like, oh my god,
are we going back?
are we getting the Loki from Avengers? And do we need to see him like, oh my god, like be this guy? Because I was so over the evil Loki, but to see him be introduced in the timeline, his character growth and how he would eventually die, by Owen Wilson's character Mobius, who welcome to the MCU, Owen Wilson. Fantastic
Well
job.
deserved. You are amazing.
I would say the scenes between Loki and Owen Wilson, and Owen, I know you don't get that much dramatic fare,
So good.
but the role you did,
So good.
well done. Like the conversation,
So good.
pretty much like how the first few seasons of
So
Game of Thrones
so
were.
intelligent. So
Dialogue.
So I felt like, especially in the earlier episodes, Owen Wilson's character was the audience foil.
Correct. Because we've seen Loki. We've seen the
Yeah,
time.
like, well, dude, we've already done this. We've already done
And
this.
then Loki is kind of being like, oh please, I would never lie to you. And then we're, as Owen Wilson's like,
No, you're up to something.
Which he is.
Yeah.
I was a bit surprised that the villain was going to be a Loki variant, who turns out not to be the villain, but was a female Loki that was considered a variant. That was a nice ploy.
That was a really nice play. I liked this movie. Series. I liked the character development. I think some things could have stayed allegories or metaphors.
Do you mean like the finale?
Not even just the finale, like the relationship between Loki and Sylvie.
Sylvie is the female Loki variant.
Sylvie is the female Loki variant. I think they didn't need to make their connection or the love literal. I think it would have been more powerful to have Loki show empathy to another Loki, because Loki never showed empathy to themselves.
See. So
Empathy and self-love.
Instead of going
self-forgiveness.
that cis romance, instead have it be that was my issue as well, because You build
It was
up,
too literal. It's too literal.
you build it up to be they're gender fluid, that they are bisexual, and then you have this cis romance that felt out of place, but twisted as well because it's a Loki loving another Loki.
I don't mind a Loki loving themselves. I just think it's more powerful for it to stay in the metaphor. Like, I think it's more powerful to have that when they, instead of them having a silent moment on Lamentis, I would have loved if Sylvie mentioned something horrible she did and see Tom Hiddleston's Loki kind of soften and show empathy and hold her in that moment. You know what I mean? Like, not even necessarily hold her literally, but like hold that space
Like
emotionally
yeah.
and you know, show Sylvie that empathy, that love that he never showed himself whenever he's analyzing his own behavior.
And also because it's the empathy and love that Sylvie never had, because in the story she's taken from her time at 6 years old.
And she's
So-
she probably never had a moment
Yeah.
to care and love for herself.
So you can imagine it probably was, what, 20, 30 years, who knows how long, of her just being on this revenge, like, this was done to me by the TV, I want to bring them down. So
And she
I
can
like
still
that.
resist it, but I think it's so powerful for Tom Hiddleston's Loki, for him to go,
No, I
no,
recognize.
no, I recognize,
see.
no, I recognize that's sad, and for him to maybe internalize that and go like, shit, like I've done some shit, but I also need to grow. I can't just feel sorry. I need to grow, and I need to care about myself and
Yeah.
love myself enough and respect myself enough to grow, and to be better.
Agreed. And
Instead of it being like a weird.
you mentioned Lament,
Romantic
that
thing.
I would say was the weakest episode, because I felt like we didn't accomplish anything.
We didn't accomplish anything in that
You
episode.
know, apart from
It was
saying,
a good setup.
apart from it, yeah, just setting up one thing, which is that, oh, all the people working in the TVA are variants. You know, that's a twist. You know, and they don't get
It was a
killed.
good. It
when
was a
you
good
memorize
twist.
them.
It was a good twist.
So I felt they could have built more, like you said, along the road of that empathy between the two Lokis.
I think that time for that episode could have been spent. Yes, let them argue, but I would have loved the climax of that episode instead of it being this weird, kind of felt like shoehorned romance.
Yeah.
I would like it for it to be like, why do I empathize with
feel
you?
something. Yeah.
Why do I recognize and feel this way? That would have been more powerful, but that's my main criticism of the series.
And it kind of felt like any moment that we didn't have Owen Wilson, you know, with that, you know, it felt like a weakness because you basically had a smaller cast. But I think everyone did show up, especially in the final season, the final episode, where you talk about allegory. You know, literally two mortals having a confrontation with God. Right?
A
Kang.
godlike entity.
Well, he who remains, Kang. We know it's you, Kang.
We love you, Kang.
Kang the Conqueror, played
Amazing
superbly
performance.
by Christopher Majors.
Amazing.
I will say I was worried in that episode because I was like, why are they playing him so goofy and aloofy? I was expecting this all-seeing, you know, contemplative warlord. But
Hey, if I've seen everything that's ever happened ever, I would be fucking cuckoo too.
exactly, and when
I
they
do be
had-
like, dude, shut up, man.
And when they had that camera moving on him, where you see him be all, oh, I know everything, I've seen it. And then he comes to a point where he just looks around and he goes, we've passed that moment. I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm tired of the fight. I'm tired of keeping order. And Christopher Majors, I believe is Jonathan Majors, sorry. Sir, you're a young talent. I see why people have been shouting your praises.
You're amazing.
You know, I'm assuming
Amazing
there's only so much you can put in an episode about who you are as the one who remains. Well done. I definitely found myself feeling shit. We need the TVA. We need this order. You know, otherwise it goes
Without
like chaos. I'm surprised they're going for a season 2 because I'm curious to see how it all connects. It feels like because Loki's going to be in Doctor Strange 2, along with Scarlet Witch in the Multiverse of Madness. So I feel like it's going to be a heavy film. I hope they can.
So that might be setting that up, probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it if they put it more in season 2 of Loki. Like, okay, we will address it in that film, but maybe this is going to be
Loki's time.
Loki's thing, you know,
Yeah.
fighting Kang the Conqueror or whatever. That'd be great.
I'm figuring out what the fuck is on with Sylvie.
Yeah, Sylvie, come on, girl. I know, but girl, why'd you do it?
You hold anger for that? No, I understand her character choice.
I completely understand. Completely.
understand her
I'm
character
furious
choice.
because you acted so well. Well done.
Yeah.
I found myself cursing.
Yeah, he was really angry, and I was just
like, come on, the order. And then, of course, both my girlfriend and Lakshman were like, come on, 20 years of anger. I'm like, that's fair, though. That's fair.
at some point you just stop caring.
I think I was only confused with, because the TVA is supposed to be outside of time, why is it that when Loki came back in the ending and told Owen Wilson, hey, we need to fix things, you know?
I mean, but if the guy that kept it outside of time is dead, then it must have shifted then.
That's what I'm interesting. I think
And
the
I
thing
think we'll
with
only know in the second season.
I think with time travel stories, there's always some logic stuff. You're just like, oh wait, what? A butterfly effect here. So I'm curious to see how they build it up. We got about 1.5 years to wait.
I'm glad that Owen Wilson is not just here for the first season, and that he's going to be there for the second season.
I think we all know what we want Owen Wilson to do in the second season. I want him on that jet ski, man.
I want him on that jet ski.
Brother's been waiting.
He deserves a jet ski.
He deserves a jet
He
ski.
deserves 6 jet skis. He can have 6 jet skis if he wants.
I mean,
They are time cops outside of time. You telling me they can't find 6 jet skis that are messing up with the timeline? They can find 6 jet skis that mess up with the timeline.
Also, special shout out to the receptionist who used Infinity Stones as paperweights. You, sir, had us believing you were the twisty villain, but you were just another regular Joe. Really, it was really fun.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the series.
What would you give it?
I think I'll give it a 7.5.
Ooh.
7.58.
It was uneven at certain points, but overall, I had a fun time.
I had a good time.
I think between this, Falcon, and WandaVision, I think WandaVision is still the superior show.
WandaVision
It's
did
nominated
amazing.
for Emmys for a reason.
Oh, is that nominated for an Emmy?
Emmy, yeah,
Nice.
best limited series, and deserves it. But
It is
Disney Plus,
really
you're doing
good.
great. I would give it a. You give what 7.5? I would
7.5.
give it. I'll give it 7. I think I had fun with
Okay,
it.
the rating has increased.
Yeah.
Since our last discussion.
Yeah, last time I wanted to give it what
A
6.
6.
Yeah, it was a bit. But I think I have some fun moments with it, so I'll give it 7. Yeah. Thanks, guys. I know the video was really long, but it was a long series, and we love it. Keep up the great work, Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson.
Love you, Owen.